Hi, my name is Ethan Williams, and I want to take the next few minutes to tell you about what God has done in my life. Over the last few years, I've gone from a huge change, ultimately living for myself, to now doing my best to live for God. I grew up overseas as a missionary kid in Senegal, West Africa, so my parents obviously educated me in the Bible a little bit, because that's kind of their job. So I grew up with all the Bible stories and everything like that, but I never really understood them and was able to put it all together to make sense out of it. And then eventually we moved to the States when I was 12 years old. So that was really hard on me, and I ended up, just pushing everything that I knew about God away, kind of blaming it on Him, like, this is your fault, God. So I kind of pushed that on Him, and then I just tried to, find pleasure in whatever I could, and it turned out that in high school it's really easy to get your hands on drugs and alcohol and into the party scene, so that's what I ran to, and I tried to seek satisfaction in that. But ultimately, that just tore me down. So halfway through my senior year, I kind of was able to step back and just kind of analyze my life and analyze what was going on, and just try to figure out why am I not happy? What am I doing that's wrong? And in that time, I started listening at church a little more and talking to my parents about life, and ultimately I just decided that, I think Christ is the answer. I was able to put a few things together from my past and from listening to church and talking to just my parents and church elders, and I was able to come up with a pretty good understanding of Christ and what He's done, and ultimately how He saved me. So I decided that I wanted to live for Christ, and I wanted to give my life to Christ, ultimately because I was living in sin. I was drinking and finding pleasure in things that were not, pleasing to the Lord, and ultimately that leads to death. So with Christ, when I accept Christ, God no longer looks at me as sinful, because when you accept Christ, you switch places with Christ. Now God is looking at me as though I were His son, and as if I had lived a perfectly clean, sinless life, and ultimately now I can have a personal relationship with God that can be pleasing to Him and to me, and it's something that's going to last for eternity. It's not going to end when I die. So yeah, God has made some huge changes in my life, and now I ultimately feel like I have satisfaction, joy, and just love. So if you want to hear more about my story, hit me up on Facebook or call me.